Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Addie and today we are back with another speed build, the second part to this speed build if you missed it. Um, if you missed the first part, don't watch this because you'll be very confused. I mean, if you're actually like watching the video. If you're not watching the video, then it doesn't matter. Um, So essentially, we're building some sort of like haunted manor estate thing. Um, and right now, if you're watching the video, we are doing, we are furnishing the butler's suite. So we have, quite the, we have quite the thing going on over here. Basically the butler has like his own or their own like apartment, if you will. So like in my head, if you had for rent, you could rent this out. If you have vintage glamour, you could assign this to be the butler's suite. That sort of thing. Um so that's sort of what we're doing right now. And this is more of like a studio style. So there's the bed, which is just like in the open. Um, if you hear weird noises, it's probably just my cat. He's decided he wants to play with a piece of paper for no reason. Um, so yeah, for that I apologize. Anyway, so we have yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing right now. We are working on the living space. We have just a couch and a fireplace, and then on either side we have the bookshelves from Crystal Creations. And then in the dining space, it's just a space. So we have just the dining table. It's actually quite large. Um, we have the bedroom space as well, which is just a bed. I will end up putting a ladder in the corner because I figured that would be helpful if you're like downstairs to not have to walk all the way up and around and through and a whole like the whole thing. So I figured having a ladder as like a secondary access point was helpful. And unlike stairs, ladders I don't think um actually affect the lighting at all, so that's helpful as well. Um and then we are finally moving into the main house, and I didn't really decorate. We'll come back and decorate a little bit later on. And when I say a little bit later on, I mean like a lot later on. Um the video right now. So the video, the first part was like a solid hour, and then this is another solid hour. So if you this is great if you're like doing homework. And I'm gonna be doing a lot of rambling because how the fuck else am I supposed to fill up this entire time? Um, so if you missed it, of the last episode, or you didn't listen to it, or you didn't watch it, or whatever, no judgment, honestly. Um, but I was sort of talking about like all the shit and how my life has been really chaotic as of recent. Um, so I'm gonna recap on that a little bit while I am struggling to put these fucking rods on the windows. Um, so I had a lot happen in the last couple of months. I got a new job, which is really fun, and it has been like honestly the best decision I probably could have made. Um, which is great. That's what everybody wants from a new job. Um, and then I, so so I got a new job and I cut down the hours of my second job. So right now I'm only working 55-ish, 55, 60 hours a week instead of like 70. Um, because my second job we were short staffed and so I had to work extra just because like we didn't have the staffing, but now we have staffing, so that's really exciting that I can actually like not feel like I'm drowning and have time for hobbies like this because I really really love making videos like as sort of a hobby. um would I like to have a second thing of income? Maybe, but I don't, it's not really like a goal, you know? I just sort of make videos and if people like them, great. Um, um, so, so that happened and my schedule was like all over the damn place. Like I was working, the first week at my new job was, pretty much all remote. So that was interesting. It was mostly like computer training and stuff, which was interesting. And then the second part of training um, was in person, but in person it was more like, I mean, my schedule followed that of my trainer. And so I was working 4 10s. But I hate working 4 10s. I learned through that experience, because essentially when I got off at 5:30, and that's like just enough time that you're like, oh, I should do something with my day. But it's like not enough time to actually like recover from working and then do something with the rest of your day. So my mental health was not great because of that. But also my mental health was just not great in general because I felt like because um just like shit. Like just because of shit. Like it's yeah. Yeah, just shit. So it's not like, yeah, so I've just had like a lot going on between that and my other job. Right now I am going through and realizing that um some of them don't have matching swatches for these goddamn chairs. Um so I had to find a swatch that actually matched and then do that. Which was not fun because they're from the same pack. At least I think they're from the same pack. If they're, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that was fun, but it worked out in the end. Let's see. So where was I? So a lot of shit going on. And then on top of that, I um lost so my family's husky, he was 15 and he died. If you watch Little Simsy, you should. If you don't, but if you watch Little Simsy, you'll know that her family pet recently got passed away as well, and it was like the same weekend as hers that my family's pet died, which was really weird. Sort of an odd an odd coincidence. Um, but yeah, so he was 15 and he was having a rough time. They think he had a brain tumor, he had dementia, he had a heart tumor, like he had a bunch of shit. He had a bunch of shit going on. So basically it was like they thought like, oh, and also he lost like a ton of weight. So because of that, they thought it would be best just to end his hard times We're only 10 minutes into the video and I'm already like not talking about it. Anyway, so then um so they decided to put him down. So that was really hard because it was 2 days before my other dog's birthday. Not my living dog, not Zilla's dog, not Zilla. Zilla's my living dog. My other dog, my dead dog. That's really chaotic, but my dead dog's birthday. Her name was Angel. And it was like 2 days before her birthday. So that's hard. And then also just like this time of year is really rough. I have a lot of other shit that goes on this time of year. Like I'm very ready to just like have my cruise. I have a cruise planned in May in the Caribbean, and I'm very excited for it because um I haven't had a vacation in like 4 years. And you're probably thinking like, well, yeah, that's life, right? But also at the same time, it's um it's hard to go 4 years without a break. And like on top of that, my like in 4 years, let's see, I've switched jobs 5 times. I got a new car. I had to move twice in 1 year. I lost my dog. I got a cat. I like there's just a lot of stuff, right? So like yes, life is hard. Life does not give you vacations, but that's why you get fucking PTO, okay? So like yeah. So I'm very excited for that. Just because I haven't had like a vacation. Like if I've not like I was unemployed for a bit. But it's not as it's not like you're just like hanging out, right? I think that people think that like people who are unemployed are sort of um just like hanging out, right? I wasn't hanging out. I was donating plasma to pay bills. I was and like buy my dog food. I was um applying to like a shit ton of jobs every single fucking day. And so that was a really stressful time. Really stressful time. Oh, and then my dog died. Right, like first month into the job, to I got a job. First month into the job, my dog died. Not a good time. So, I'm very much looking forward to this cruise, and then I'm getting my wisdom teeth out in June, and I'm very excited for that because I am taking a 3-day weekend. My weekends are 2 days usually, and I don't even technically take a weekend because of my second job. So I'm very excited to take like a full weekend. Um, and then I don't have anything in July. Um, but in August is my birthday, so I'm taking a weekend for that. So it's just like I don't know. I feel like this year is gonna be good. And then my other aunt is getting married in um what's it called? In October. So that's also kind of exciting because I get like a 5-day weekend. Um, so this year's going to be really good. I'm kind of looking forward to having some breaks and having some like actual vacations. Just because I haven't really had a chance to do that. So anyway, we're gonna pop back into talking about the build here for a second. So we have finished laying out the floor plan for the entry, the dining room, and then the sitting room. Right now we're working on the entertainment space. Um, and I love these windows, but I didn't really like the white, but I wanted the metal. So what I did was I layered the black frame over the like the white what are they called? The white, like, iron pieces. And they, so so we did that, and then it was good. It was nice. It was like, oh, it doesn't actually clip at all, because sometimes it does clip. Um, so yeah, anyway, that was kind of that was sort of a good like, not, it was intentional, but it was like a good thing that it doesn't clip. Anyway, so we're working on this little entertainment space, and oh my fucking lord, you're gonna have to be patient with this, because I really wanted chairs facing the TV, or like some sort of seating facing the TV. So I put a picture frame on the fireplace, but that's not like a real picture frame. It's like a TV. Um, so I really wanted like something facing that, right? The problem is that it's not very cool. Like, it doesn't look very good. So you're gonna have to just like trust the process for this room. Also, I really wanted a dance floor. It's gonna take me a while for that one too. You're gonna have to be patient with that. Um, so just trust the process in this room, please. No one's allowed to make judgments until it's done. So, where was I? Oh, I was talking about the cruise. So, the cruise is very interesting because it's on the Caribbean, and it's gonna be it's a wedding. It's a wedding on a cruise. So it's gonna be kind of fun, because I have been on one cruise. It was a 3-day Disney cruise. So I don't really count it, because like I didn't do anything, and I was also like 9 or 10. So it was not exactly like I was not at the forefront of making decisions on that cruise. And it was mostly led by my grandma, who has all of the opinions. So that was sort of that was the first cruise, but I don't really classify that as a cruise, because it's like, I mean, it was a cruise and I liked it and I had a good time. But also, I don't really feel like I went on the cruise. I feel like I went on a trip that happened to be on a cruise, if you know what I mean. So I'm kind of looking forward to this one, because it I hope that well, not even I hope, but I will have more like options of like what I want to do, and like, do I want to just sit on the deck and write, or do I want to actually go to the activities and go? I won't go swimming. I'm not bringing a bathing suit. Um, Everybody's like, "Oh, bring a bathing suit, bring a bathing suit." Fuck that. I hate swimming. I like despise swimming. I am such a fire sign. So I'm a Leo. And I am such a fire sign. Like, I embody that. Um, so yeah, not gonna be swimming, not gonna bring that. And I'm not really sure what sorts of clothes I want to bring for this. Because I, yeah, I don't really know what sorts of clothes I want to bring, because my style is not really like, um, Caribbean. Mine is more like, um, how do I describe it? Like a study date at a fancy library. So I'm probably gonna bring most of my like short sleeves. I might bring a couple of tank tops. I feel like that's like a good thing to bring. Um, I don't really have like appropriate skirts. I don't really wear skirts. So I'm probably gonna have to bring um I'm probably gonna have to get like pants specifically for this that are like cotton and breathable. Um so that I can not have to boil while I'm on like sitting on the Caribbean. Um, but yeah, so that's sort of my plan. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with my hair. My hair is really long, by the way. It goes down to my waist, like my hips, not my waist, but like my hips. Um, which is kind of the same. Like people say the same, say that both words interchangeably, but that's not really the vibes. So yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my hair. I'm also a little bit worried about like showering and such, because I don't really I don't really know how that's gonna work for me. My hair is very picky and requires to be washed with eggs. This is sort of odd if you're not like familiar with hair care. Um, but like basically I like rinse my hair with egg whites and coconut oil and then and like get it deep in the scalp so that it gets rid of the buildup from the week. And then afterwards, once it's dry, I put in um this is also really weird. I put in like cornstarch, which is basically just like what they would use previously, like hair powder kind of thing, during the week if it gets like extra greasy. Um, but I don't really know how that's gonna work because like I'm not about to be taking cornstarch on a plane to Houston, which is also another thing. I am 95% sure I want to get a titer. That's like the name of the test for measles because I'm flying through Texas because the boat takes off from Houston. But I'm a little bit worried because I don't know how many of you are familiar, but there's a measles outbreak in Texas as well as like New Mexico. I think there's a case in Arizona. I think there was a case in Utah. There's cases in Colorado. So it's like all over the place, right? So I'm kind of nervous about that because I got the MMR when I was a baby, but now like I'm not immune to the Hep B. I had to get a Hep B antigen test for my job, for my new job, and I'm not immune to it, even though I got the Hep B test or like the Hep B vaccine when I was a baby. So I got a Hep B booster, but I'm still not immune to it. So I'm like, okay, well, what if I'm not immune to the measles? What if I have to like go and get like the MMR again, you know? Which is less likely. I think most of the time when people get MMR vaccines, um, it's more along the lines of like, because they aren't sure if they got it when they were a baby, but I know that I got it when I was a baby, so I don't know. But the Hep B, sometimes you don't get immunity. Um, so yeah. Anyway, um, yeah. So I'm kind of nervous about that, to be completely honest. I feel like um yeah, so I'm kind of nervous about flying through Houston or flying through Texas. I will be flying to Houston, but I just like these people. And like when I was in Texas, I had this friend in high school. Because I did live in Texas for a while, and I had this friend, and I will not use her name, but her mom was like hella anti-vax because she was convinced that because said friend's brother got diagnosed with autism, that was from the um that was from the MMR and like the vaccines that he got as a baby. And so like now she doesn't have like they had two more kids and now those kids are not vaccinated and it makes me worried for them because they're in Texas not vaccinated. And she was like, "Well, I'm not going to give my kids the polio vaccine because polio's been eradicated." Ma'am, ma'am, are you do you understand what you're telling me right now? Like it's eradicated because people got the vaccines. Do you want your child like do you want your child to like have to die? Like not to be kind of morbid, but do you want your child to die? And she was also against said friends getting the meningitis vaccine. And she was like, well, it's stupid because like you're not going to share drinks with anyone. And I'm like, do you know teenagers? Do you remember being a teenager? And like, I'm sure that you shared a drink with your friend, right? And also, unless you want your brain to swell, I recommend that you get the vaccine. Okay? Anyway, that's enough of that rant. Um, so I'm just like kind of anxious about that. Um, but yeah, otherwise it's gonna be great. Once we're on the cruise, I feel like it'll be a little bit better. Just because I well, I have faith that the people on the cruise are vaccinated and or I'll probably just stay the hell away from everyone. To be completely honest, I will probably just stay the hell away from everyone. I don't really like people. That's why I don't really, and I'm autistic here. Like we don't have the mental capacity to be like doing new things, okay? However, doing new things is how you prevent dementia. So, yeah. And like I'm only in my 20s, like I'm not old. I say that and it's like 30 isn't even old, but um yeah, so like I'm only if you hear my dog, she's just playing with her toy. She is having a good time. She wants to kill her lamb lamb toy. But yeah, so like yeah, don't really like doing new things. Don't really like changing of the routine. I like everything to be the way that it should be, and I'm very anxious about um my friend dog sitting for me. Not because she's a bad dog sitter. I trust her wholeheartedly. I trust her even more so than I do with like a dog boarding situation. And also like dog boarding does not sit well with me. My dog has confinement anxiety, so she doesn't do well with like being locked in a kennel. Um, like overnight would be fine, but it needs to be like her kennel. You know what I mean? So I figure it's better to just have someone that I know, even if it's a little bit more expensive. I'd prefer her to feel safe, you know? So, anyway, so I am a little bit nervous about because I've never actually left my babies overnight longer than a night, you know? Like about I've left them overnight once like each of them is like I've left them overnight. But it's always like I let them out, I leave, and then I come back at like an ungodly hour of like 5 in the morning to let them out, you know? So yeah, not really not really sure how that's gonna work. And I'm kind of nervous that like they're gonna I don't know. I just am nervous. Um, but my friend that's gonna be dog sitting is really good and Zilla loves her, so I'm I have faith in my friend. And I'm a little bit anxious because this is like a new thing for us, right? Like we've never done this before of the whole like leaving for more than a night thing. So, but yeah, I feel like I mean, I know it'll be okay. I'm just still anxious about it. Um, but yeah, it'll be fine. I'm just a little anxious ball of energy. So, anyway, yeah. So that's sort of my plans for the cruise. But I am excited. I'm like nervous-sided, you know. My sibling used to use that word a lot. I don't know where they got it, but they used to use it a lot when they were a child. Granted, they're still technically like a child, but they're an adolescent now. They're a teenager. They're 16. 16? Yeah, 16 now, which is weird, but so anyway, yeah, they're 16 now, so that's kind of weird, um but they used to use nervicided a lot. Yeah, anyway, so let's pop back into talking about the build here for a second. Right now I am furnishing what I imagine to be like a trans mask room. Trans mask as in like the sim who lives in this room is trans mask, not the room itself being trans mask. And then also up here, I imagined that they had electricity. So I put like electric lights up here because I felt like it was fitting, you know, like you're in this space that presumably has been renovated. So, yeah, so we're putting lights up here, and then there's also another room, and I imagine that's him who lived there was lesbian. No flags in here, but it's yeah, it's definitely cuter. It's very floral and like kind of like gold and brown and black with white accents. And then there's a twin nursery for infants that's like bright red. It's like very red in there. Um, and then right now we are starting on the um primary suite. So like there's the whole side of the build. And I feel like this build itself does not have a lot of um I feel like this build should have a lot more bedrooms than it does. But I just didn't want to figure out how to add more, so I didn't. So I mean you could transform the like servant quarters in the basement to be um like bedrooms. You could transform the butler's suite to be a bedroom, but I don't know. I just feel like having the main bedrooms of the main family in the like main house made sense. You know what I mean? So I didn't. And also I kind of liked the story of like being able to like rent those out and be able to have some like I don't know, something with that. So we are working on the primary suite. I think I said that. And this room, I don't really remember, to be completely honest. It was not my favorite room, like build like space in this manner. Um, but it sort of follows a similar color scheme to the rest of the house. It's very like green and brown. We do have a couple of what are they called? Rocking chairs, and then we've got two sitting spaces. So I imagined you had the space that we're doing right now that is um that sort of has like that's like in the bedroom, and I imagined that was for like really close family, right? Or like really close friends. And then the other side is for the like closer family, the friends, that sort of thing. And then like the main sitting space downstairs is for the um like the normal people, the people you're not close with. So, yeah, that's sort of where we're at right now. I will now go back to talking about my life. Um, so, another thing that's new, well, the chiropractor bit is not new. However, I recently started limiting and like being more mindful of sugar intake. Um, I wouldn't say limiting, but definitely being more mindful and just being like, oh, why does this chicken have 2 grams of sugar? You know, like why? Um, or like something that's like normal, a normal thing, like I don't know, like juice. Like why does this juice have 40 grams of sugar? You know? So or like yogurt. Yogurt is a great example. All of the yogurts that are like mainstream that a lot of people have, like Yoplait or whatever, have like a shit ton of sugar, which is fine. It's not like a bad, I mean, it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's not like a bad thing. Um, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you added like 20 grams of sugar to this. So I got I got some yogurt that has 2 grams of sugar. Damn, that's bitter. Damn, it's like tart, you know? And my brain is like, ew, nasty, gross. And then it's like, oh, actually, this isn't too bad. So it's just gonna take some time to get used to the lower sugar yogurt and like other things too, but I'm still like eating I'm still like I have such a sweet tooth. Like right before this, I got like a ton of ingredients for like brownies and pumpkin pie. I know it's the middle of April, but I am making some fucking pumpkin pie. So I got like all the ingredients to make pumpkin, like gluten-free pumpkin pie and gluten-free brownies and like all of this stuff. And then I was like, and then I decided to go and limit sugar. And now I'm like, oh, how is that gonna work? So over the weekend, so I had to go grocery shopping. Um, and then I over the weekend might make the pumpkin pie or the brownies. I'm sort of torn. I want to make one of them. Um, so I can have that because I love sweet. I don't know. I just really love baking. So, but I'm not really like a chef. Like I don't like cooking. I like baking. So, that's been sort of interesting. But like I said, I'm not like cutting out sugar. I'm just limiting and like being slightly more mindful of it. Um, Not that I need to lose weight, but I probably will. Um, anyway, so what I need to do is actually gain weight, but it's fine. So, so that's new, but I'm actually feeling better. I feel like I have more energy. Um, and then let's see, what else? Oh, I cleaned my house today. Not like deep cleaned, just like cleaned. Like did the laundry and the dishes, and I swept and put trash in the trash can because I have a trash can in the living room, but Miss Little someone got into it. So I put all that up because I did a silly and I left the door to the trash can open. So she like pulled the trash can out because that's what happens when you leave the door open to the trash can. Because it's like in my desk. And then there's a door that the trash can fits in. And so usually I keep the trash can in there and I forgot to close it. So it got a little bit moved around. Um so yeah, so that was kind of fun to just like come home and be able to have that. And then also my new job has a new schedule, so I work 7 to 4, which feels so good for me because I wake up at 7. I don't wake up earlier than 7. However, I do really like um I do really like getting off at 4. Like I love getting off at 4. And so um it's sort of nice. I can wake up early and like a lot of my coworkers are like, "Oh, I hate having to work 5 days a week, blah blah blah." But I prefer working shorter shifts, more days than longer shifts, less days. So, I will forever be that way. Like I don't think that's ever going to change. Um But yeah, it's actually I love my new job because I get off at um at 4. And then I can like run errands, I can schedule appointments, I can, do whatever I need to do to and then like I'm still home at a reasonable time of like 5:30, 6 o'clock, So I prefer working the more days for less hours per day. It all adds up to 40 hours a week, but so we all end up spending about the same time at the clinic. But now I'm gonna jump into the game and give you sort of like a live tour. So we can sort of wrap this up. Um, next week, I'm hopefully gonna post a Pride build with the new like Pride update. So look out for that. Okay, so this is the, oh, sorry. Okay, we're laggy right here. Hold on. And I'm sorry there's a heat wave right now. I don't have mods installed, so you're just gonna have to deal. Um, but this is what it looks like. Um, the mailbox is right here. You come up, there's a fountain on the side. And then you've got like a multi-step walkway going on up in here. There has to be a staircase right here, or your Sims like legit just won't walk up it. Because this is technically the second story. Because of this, so it's the second story. So even though like we know that that like logistically you should be able to walk up there, Sims are stupid. They can't. Um, We've got 2 balconies, and a glass roof, sort of like a broken roof. And then let's come into the main entryway right here. It's very like brown and green in here, which is kind of a pretty color scheme. I don't usually go for that one. There's like a little nice seating area. Then you walk back into sort of like a fancy hallway. Or you can go up the stairs. We're gonna come in here first. This is obviously the dining room, and the table is very large. So we've got actually 4 tables. And lots of chairs. Lots of chairs going on in here. Also, this is where the green started. We've got these big, what the hell is this? Anyway, so we've got bookshelves in here. There's also a door to a tiny ass little hallway with a bookcase door, but I didn't want to use it as a bookcase door. There's like a normal door on the other side. This leads you to the butler's suite. So they've got sort of like a kitchenette. They don't have a sink. Hold on. They've got like their own kitchen and stuff. Let me get a sink for this poor person. Okay, so now they have a sink. And I imagined that the butler was like very much put together. Please pardon my test sim. He's stressed because of the sun. So we've got like a nice dining room and then a living space. There's not a TV in here, but you don't need one. And then the bedroom's right over here. It's more of like a studio guy, I guess. Bathroom in here. We'll come back this way. We've got sort of like a formal sitting room in here. Lots of spaces to sit in this house. Lots of bookshelves. There's a chess table in case you wanted to do that. And then in here is a very, very nice office. I was sort of going for like library vibes, and then I was like, an office is more usable. They do have an ensuite bathroom, which we didn't see, but it's not fancy. Like it's the same, quite literally the pretty much the same. So then we come through these doors, and this is sort of like the party room, the ballroom, the informal sitting space. There's a TV that doesn't look like a TV because it's framed. There's a bar, there's a dance floor, music, the assortment, the table, fondue, the whole thing. There's another bathroom. It's only a half bathroom, so only a toilet and a sink. Let's go downstairs. This is my favorite part, by the way. This downstairs part is my favorite. So if you come off of here into this room, off of the dining room, there is a bathroom for the servants. And then they come down. This is like the formal kitchen. This is where all the food is made that goes upstairs. And then they have like sort of a community bathroom here. So it's got like a full thing going on in here. This is where my problems were. Like the game just kept, like I kept placing this stuff and the game just like kept crashing. So I had to like save as. So I would place something, save, place something, save, place something, save. It's really chaotic for no reason. More sinks. You can never have not enough of those. You can never have too many of those is what I meant to say. A couch. I liked this one because there's like a kettle on it and I felt like that was realistic. And then we've got like the servants area, like the servants dining hall. It's a little bit more casual in here. We've got bookshelves, lots of tables. We also have the nectar making station, which is kind of fun. And then I did want to connect this over here. But like through the wall, but I couldn't. So you have to come through down here into down this staircase right here. Oops, wrong way. And then that takes you into the wine cellar. This is all purely decorative, by the way. There is another formal or like community showering space, bathroom space. I don't know if I would want to pee in that bathroom, but you could. And then there's a hall. There's a couple of trash cans, useful. 2 apartments. So in my head, you would like rent these out if you have like for rent. And you could have like families in here. So this first one is a family of 5. I know. 2 twin toddlers and then like an infant. Or 6. 1, 2, and then 4 kids. And then they have a newborn. Lots of space in here. Not really. But they've got like a kitchenette. Because I did imagine that they would use like the community kitchen. Um, and then so you would have so they have like a little dining space, play area for the kid. They do have their own bathroom. It does not have a shower because like my head they would use this one to shower. But they've got two parents, two toddlers, an infant, and a newborn. And then if we go down this way, we've got another unit. They also have a kitchenette. They only have they're a three-person family, also a bathroom. This one was a child and then two parents. And then I don't know. I had the thought that maybe like if you are bad, you get stuck in the nectar closet and then you just get to live in there for like too long. Anyway, you come back up this way and you're back in here. We're gonna go upstairs. So if you come through here, upstairs, there's like I imagined this is where the kids hang out and like do their homework, have friends over. There's a bathroom. There's a shit ton of bathrooms in here. This one has a shower though. It's fancy. And then there's also a piano. And then we start to see a little bit more electricity up here because in my head, like this was an old house that had to have electricity added to it. So up here, we've got some electricity, but down in the basement, we don't really have electricity, because they just haven't gotten there yet. Lots of plants up here. This sim really loves plants, so they sort of spilled out into here. Oh, there's also an easel and a bar. The globe bar is over here. We've got a fireplace, and then we have 3 bedrooms on this side. This one I imagined was the oldest sim, and I imagined that a boy lived here, like a teenage boy. Maybe he's a young adult, maybe he's like 18, sort of in that gray area in between teenagehood and young adulthood. And in my head, he was sort of like into seance, and he's into um, definitely like occulty sort of vibes. So there's a lot of paranormal in here, and then a lot of life and death. There's a lot of life and death in general in this house, but especially in this room. And then they have an ensuite bathroom. If we come down this way, their younger sister, I imagine she was like a teenager, so maybe like 16, 15, 16. And she's kind of a different vibe. Loves roses. I imagine she wanted to be a writer. I imagine she loved to read. Is very fancy, but in sort of a different vibe than her brother. She definitely has more gold accents. And then both of them share a balcony that I didn't furnish because I forgot. And then in here, we have a couple of surprise babies. We have twin newborns, which would be hell when they turn into infants, but and they've got sort of like this red, rosy nursery going on. And then if we come all the way around past the living room, we've got a second living room. We've got for the primary bedroom. This side is like the whole side of the house. So you come in, there's like a walk area or like a living space, like a private living space for the parents. I imagine like the kids would come out here and hang out with their friends, and the parents would come in here to hang out with their friends. We've got a bathroom, very fancy bathroom in here, double sinks, toilet. They've got their own shower room. That's fancy. Another easel. Oh, we're too tense. I was like, why can't we? We have plenty of money. And then we've got their bedroom. So like in my head they would like pull these closed when they had guests in here, but when other times it's like just open. And we've got I should add a TV there, but I probably will forget. So then we've got this we've got the bed and then like another sitting space. Maybe this is like for like not close family and this is for close family, you know? And then they've got a cute little balcony. Oh, there's also a balcony off of the dining room, but I didn't mention it because I forgot. There is no access to the attic. I didn't decorate it. But I suppose if you wanted to, you could find a place. Let's go outside. And I'm going to be fully transparent here. I didn't finish the front. I have finished the back for the most part. So we have a grill, two more trash cans, flower arranging, two tables because I thought they looked kind of nice and like what else the fuck am I supposed to put up there? And then we've got sort of like an area for toddlers. And then down here, we've got two fire pits. We also have a third fire pit up here. This one's like, I imagine where like the teenagers hang out. You know, you've got like the teenagers and they come out over here and like hang out separate from the adults because like nobody wants to listen to you talking about your teenager stuff. Like, trust me, it's super awkward. Like, I was one of those super private teenagers. So, yeah. And then this level also has some playground equipment for the kids. We've got the haunted swing set. This one will swing on its own. Let me press play and we'll see if it does it. And then we have this. Oh God. Okay. Okay. Go away. So then we've got the monkey bars as well. And I apologize for the heat wave. I can't really change that at the moment. And then in here, this is gorgeous. I'm keeping an eye on this in case it moves. We've got a pea bush, also known as a woohoo bush. And then we've got like a long table with like floral stuff. It does have lights. You can kind of see them right there. And then it's got this sort of like roof decoration that I put on it. We also have a crypt because why not? You know? And then we're gonna have to give up on the swings, I think. Okay. So then we have the maze graveyard. So up here, you come through. We've got an urn and like a memorial display table. You come around here. We've got a chess table and another memorial display with a different kind of urn. And there's like I sort of took like a Day of the Dead approach where there's like not necessarily offerings, but like gifts to the departed. Um, and then let's see, we'll come around here. So then this person has an easel and then also a grave site. They've got incense and flowers and stuff. There's a headstone, you know, the normal stuff. We'll come this way. We've got another gravestone with some more, with just like a couple of things. They've probably been here a while, not gonna lie. Come up and around. Another easel, because I imagine it would be very nice to just like sit out here and like do a painting. Um, and then we've got another grave site. Same sort of thing, you know. Um, and then up and around, we've got another grave site. This one actually has some like fresh flowers and stuff. So that's nice. Another arch. These two are paired. This doesn't have flowers in it. Oh, like a bunch of these don't have flowers in it. Oh, because they've got trees instead. Okay, another grave site. We'll leave that last. Come through here. There's another memorial display, and then these are also paired. Um, I love this one. I want my headstone to look like that when I'm not that I'm gonna be buried, but and then there's also another one. I don't know how you get there. Oh, you get here. So instead of going this way, you go this way. Okay, and then lastly, there's another gravestone. This one has not been visited in a minute. Oh, and there's another one over here. This one doesn't even have a lantern, so she's been there a while. And then this one's like of the main sim, like maybe the founder of the house, like the guy, he's got a fountain, or they've got a fountain. They've got a little seat. And then obviously the memorial display with flowers and stuff. So that's good. And then if we come up and around over here, there is a fence, although I don't know if you can actually come from here to here. If we come inside again through here, there's a door. I just didn't mention it because I forgot about it, to be honest. This is a very nice area. I wouldn't mind living in this house as a servant, to be completely free, complete transparent. So we've got a couple of outdoor seating areas, a fountain. We'll look at it. It's kind of pretty. And then we also have some covered laundry. I don't know if it works covered, but it'd be convenient if it did. And then also some wash basins inside, because it would be very inconvenient to have to like sit there and do laundry in the weather, And then there's also a way to get upstairs through the laundry room. Let's see. Then through here, we've got a couple of gates. And then in the video, like in the speed build, I put all these plants in, and then my game crashed. So I did spend, I have like 10 hours of footage before it was like sped up and edited and all of that. But then I had to go through and redo everything, so that was another like 3 hours, 2.5. It was probably closer to 2.5 hours. And then I went through and did all the rocks off camera. So actually, I've probably spent like 15 hours on this build right now at this point. But we have, I added chickens, and then we have 2 sheds. I don't know if they actually work, but I assume they do. And there's no way to access this from here, because in my head, this is like for the family, and this is like for the servants. So, yeah. Oh, and then they've got a gate over here because there's like firewood. But that's like fake. It's decorative. Your Sims probably will never come over here, and if they do, they might get trapped. So I think that's the whole build. Let's look at the whole thing up here. So if you liked this, if you would like and subscribe, that would really mean a lot. And I will see all of you on Sunday. Bye now.